When it comes to your sexual health, take it from someone who's been there before. Take it from me. Today, Angela talks to Deirdre about the decision to have or not have children.
Growing up, I was never one of those little girls who dreamt of getting married, imagining the dress and having children. It's not who I was. Got a little older. In my early 20s, I ended up meeting a man, fell in love. We got married, and we were together almost 10 years. And we talked about having children, which was something that we really wanted to do. But we wanted to wait, have some fun and travel. Years pass, and one day, back in 2019, he tells me a week before our 5-year anniversary in August that he would like to break up.
Oh, wow.
It was very sudden. I could tell there was some changes in him, maybe a little depression, maybe some anxiety. He didn't really want to communicate. It was very difficult. He had said, there's basically nothing I could do. The relationship was not repairable at that point. It wasn't me, it was him, which I believed. Everything up until that point was really great. And then come December, our lease was up. We had to continue living together
wow, that's
for
hard.
that time. It was very difficult. So now here I am, single, going through a divorce, and I don't think that I'm ever going to decide to be in another committed relationship. The heartbreak was too much. I could never do that again.
Yes.
And so because of that choice, I really don't think children will be in the picture for me.
I got married the first time when I was 41, which is much older, right? And I still didn't get it right. And he was a nice guy, but he wasn't the right guy. Mm-hmm. And I think because my mother had passed away right when I met him, I think I was scared, and I think I also wanted babies so bad. Like, I've always wanted babies. I wanted a boy and a girl. I had names picked out. And I married him. He was tall, dark, and handsome, but very ill-suited for me. And I knew it. I knew it very soon after I got married, and I made a very important decision that I was not going to have children with him. Now, I could have had children, got divorced, gone on my merry way, but I knew that I would not have that foundation. I knew he financially was not a man that could support us. And so I made a very difficult, but I think right decision, not to bring children into this world unless it was the right situation, because of the pain that I went through from my parents' divorce and not having a mommy and a daddy. You're really at a great age. Your life still can just open up, and you might decide to have children by yourself. You never know.
It's kind of scary. My mom was a single mom, and so I know how hard it can be. Just the struggles that she had, working every day, long hours. It was me and my sister. We had to, do some things for ourselves, lots of walking home from school. But the struggle of, I think, just having to be the mother and the father was a lot. She didn't make it seem difficult at all. She handled everything with grace. But I could tell, there was the hardship of just being alone and taking care of the children.
That's the interesting thing. The things that happen to us in life and in our childhood form decisions that we're going to make in the future, and that had a profound effect on you. My parents separated when I was a baby. All I remember is living with my grandparents and my mother. And my grandparents were fabulous, and I'm so grateful that I had them. But my dad would come on the weekends, to visit. And then one day my dad called up and said he was going on vacation to Florida. And I don't know, instinctually I knew he wasn't coming back. And he didn't come back. With that said, I never wanted to get divorced, number one. Number two, it was very important to me to have a mother and a father figure, because I didn't have that. And I didn't think it was fair to bring a child into the world without a mother and a father and a really, really solid foundation. And most of my life, I have chosen men that did not treat me well, because my self-esteem wasn't what it should be. And they were verbally abusive, mostly. And I married again, 11 years ago now, and that man was verbally abusive to me all the time. I wasn't successful. You know, I didn't make enough money. He was up here financially, I was down here. Just kind of beat me up emotionally. And ultimately, he flipped me on the floor, and I dialed 911 and got a restraining order, took care of myself. I have been working really hard at evolving and growing and meditating and loving myself for the last year and 4 months to survive this. The interesting thing is, when I married him, I still wanted those babies, and I would wake up some mornings and I would have a dream about babies. I'd have dreams sometimes that I had a baby, and I'd be bawling my eyes out and looking, to him for comfort, which there wasn't much comfort he gave. And now I have to say, on a spiritual level, thank you, God, for not giving me what I thought I wanted, because he was a nightmare to divorce. So that was a blessing. So sometimes what you get in life, don't get in life, is like, now I'm like, thank you, God.
When you said the meditation and your spirituality for the last year, that has been the only thing like keeping me together. Because I haven't gone to therapy. I chose to do it alone, like go through this separation by myself in a dark room, cry. I'm not much of a crier. Like every once in a while it does happen, but those days, the meditating, the praying, the really just going inside and learning about myself, like who am I now? Like my whole identity had been changed.
Your core was shaken, and what happened to me is I had been with these men that were abusive and didn't treat me right my entire life. And I'm 64. And I don't want you or any other young person out there to have to take as long as it took me to learn this stuff.
Would you say that now, where you're at in your life, that you're happy with the choices that you've made to not have children?
That's a great, great, great question. Ugh. Makes me get emotional. I know I did the right thing, but I gotta tell you, I'm very maternal. I've always wanted to be a mommy. I'm great with kids. I'm just like on their level. But did I make the right decision? Yes, especially I think for the children that would have come through. You know what I mean? It's painful for me. And you know what? God provides. Maybe I'll meet a great guy down the road that has grandbabies. And I would so just put my arms around that.
I feel like I never had that maternal instinct. I feel so different, than a lot of women who are like, oh, that's my dream, get married, have kids. That's all I want. I'm over here like, oh. But
I have to tell you, I'm very career oriented, and career was very important to me, especially in my 20s. But I knew somewhere down the line I wanted kids. But I would envy my friends. I have a girlfriend that never had kids, and she doesn't care. It doesn't bother her. And I'm like, I cannot be like that. I wish it didn't bother me. So it's good because you're not feeling the pain and the pull, right?
In a way, I'm the only one now out of all my friends and a lot of my cousins and stuff who doesn't have kids, and I'm going backwards in time, I feel like. And they're always like, no, you're gonna find the perfect man, you're gonna have 1 million babies just like us. And when I look into the future, sometimes I don't see that.
You doing that.
I don't.
Or maybe having a great desire for it.
Right, and it's only because of what I went through.
Angela, understand that when I was married the first time and I made that decision, I realized I married the wrong person. I can't have a child with him. It's not the right circumstance. When I married the second time, I wanted that baby so bad. So it is painful and it does break my heart that isn't the way my life went. And sometimes I hear these crazy stories on the news, 62-year-old woman gives birth, and I'm like, oh my God, I can still do it. It's not too late. Or I look in the mirror and I'm like, maybe I can do this. But, I think they're going to come through in another fashion as a grandchild or something down the road.
I believe that for you, if that's what you want.
Oh, thank you. They always say, hold a space for someone to grow into. So thank you.
For more trusted sources on the topics that matter to you, go to getmegiddy.com.